Welcome everybody. Happy Saturday. Today is going to be an awesome training. I'm going to jump right into it. We have got the third part of the three-part series on the three core competencies today. This is going to be the thing that really puts everything into perspective, following up on the first two parts of this three-part series that we've done. We're going to talk a lot about what's working in the markets that are producing sales, the systems, the plans, what people are doing with new people, how to get your new people started properly. This is going to be really important content for you to get to your team, and make sure that if anybody's not on here, that you get this recording to them today. This is also going to be added to the new Bryte Lyfe blueprint. This three-part series is going to be on that document, and you will see a preview of that in just a moment. And so without further ado, I want to go through just a couple of really quick announcements. If you did not already see, you've not already been seeing it on your app, the functionality for the new notifications is live. Those notifications started going out this week. That was what we were working on last week with that the build that is paramount for our new video tracking technology. These notifications are the first in a series of notifications that have been built into the platform, so that once our contact management solution goes live, you're going to get these same kinds of alerts inside of your app as people watch your videos that you send out, as people join your team, as people hit rank, as people interact with anything that you send them from Bryte Lyfe, as far as clicking on videos, watching videos, completing videos, signing up. This notification process is one of the things we've been working on for several weeks, and it's going to track all of your behavior inside of the app. So that is live. And so you should be seeing these notifications when you have new members, new influencers join your team. Regardless of whether they're personal or not, anywhere in your organization, you're going to get notifications. So make sure you have updated the app and you are on the most current version of the Bryte Lyfe app, so that you're getting those notifications. I also just want to remind everybody that we have now had a handful of our founder calls on Sunday nights. Jake Nealon, my partner and our acting CTO, has been on the last couple of calls. So you've gotten a treat to get a chance to hear inside of Jake's mind, and also kind of be behind the curtain on what's going on with our tech. So make sure that you make that a part of your weekly routine. Those are at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sunday. And of course, immediately followed by what has been, over the last few weeks, our biggest Zoom of the week. We put in the most amount of sales, the most amount of people on these Sunday night Zooms. They've been great. It's a great way to start the week. So that is immediately following that 7 o'clock Central Standard Time corporate update Zoom that is on brytelifenews.com. Remember, that is not recorded. The only way to get that information is to be there live and in person. We are starting recognition this week. So we're going to be doing some exciting recognition. We have people hitting lots of different ranks. So we're going to be talking about that tomorrow night. So we've got a lot of exciting things to cover on that call. And once again, it will be followed up by the Zoom at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, which is our new Zoom times for Sunday through Thursday at zoomviproom.com. Now, without further ado, we have had a lot of people working really hard this week. I'm actually still in Maine, and I wound up staying for another day. We had a mix and mingle with the team last night at a really cool area on the water here in Portland. Got a chance to meet some prospects and hang out with a lot of the team here in the Portland area. It's been a great week, lots of activity. We had massive meetings this week in Bangor, Maine, Portland, Maine, Scranton, Pennsylvania, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, 40 Fort, Pennsylvania. So lots of different meetings and events. There were a lot of people. There's all kinds of names in here in this little cup that are eligible for the trip to Tulum. So this is officially our last room on the Tulum trip. So there are no more rooms left in Tulum. This will be the last one. And so I've got all the names here. I've dumped them out. I've shaken them up. I'm not going to look. We're going to see here who got it. Now, remember, everybody that did one of the top 3 most effective types of exposures this week were the ones that were eligible for the Tulum trip giveaway that we're about to do. So that means live group event, recorded group event, or one-on-ones or two-on-ones. Remember, those are the 3 most effective types of exposures. We covered that last week. If you have not watched the first 2 videos in the series, series 1 or video 1 in the series was inviting. Video 2 in the series was presenting and exposing, sharing the opportunity and how to do that and how to close effectively. And then today we will be talking about training, duplication, what to do with new people. So without further ado, the last room in Tulum is going to go to Sharon Rose. And Sharon actually did the most meetings, so I'm not surprised that she won. She's dancing down there. Congrats, Sharon. I can see you. So this is the last room on the Tulum trip. So congrats, everybody that worked hard this week. And congrats, Sharon. You did a great job this week on all of your exposures, and the events that you set up in Maine and helped contribute to in Maine were great. So congrats, Sharon. All right. So remember the 3 core competencies. First, number 1, we talked all about this 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago, we covered inviting, talked about the keys to inviting. Remember, the most effective invite are the last minute invites. And so not having to worry about giving somebody 3 or 4 or 5 days notice or 2 weeks notice or 3 weeks notice. That's nonsense. Inviting people last minute is one of the most effective ways. Go back and listen to that training. If you're not having success getting people to meetings and events and getting them on Zooms, I promise you, if you're not getting them on the Zooms, you're doing it wrong. Remember, this is a team sport, not an individual sport. So that was week number 1. That was 2 weeks ago. Last week, we talked all about exposing and presenting, the different types of exposures. We talked about the 5 most effective types of exposures. Number 1, live group meetings. And if you've not watched the group this week, if you've not seen all the sales, the live group meetings that we did in the Northeast this week are the most effective meetings we've had. They're the biggest meetings we've had. We had a first-time event in Bangor. I'd never even been there before. We'd never done an event there before. And we had over 30 people there on Friday for a luncheon. And it was half and half. So there was probably about 15 members, 15 guests, great ratio. And everybody that supported that meeting did a great job. You know, it was a group effort, multiple teams plugging into these events. So getting with the people in your market, starting these live events, that was the most effective this week. Those events put in far more sales than anybody else anywhere in the country, starting in Pennsylvania on Monday and then continuing through Pennsylvania Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday starting in Maine, and then doing meetings in Maine Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So lots of success with those top 3 most effective ways of exposing. And then, of course, number 4 and 5 is live Zooms, number 4, and recorded presentations, number 5. Recorded presentations are the least effective. Zooms are the next least. You guys, if you're not doing live events in your local markets, all of the teams here in the Northeast have committed to continuing these events on a weekly basis. You should be doing a minimum of 1 live event in your market every week, whether you start it with 1 person, 2 people, 3 people, 10 people, 30 people. It's about being consistent and starting those live events. So today, we're going to shift gears and we're going to talk about what to do once you get somebody signed up. What is the next step? How do you get duplication? How do you teach your people how to do the business? How do you show them? And so we're going to focus a lot today on what I call OJT, okay? OJT. OJT is on the job training, okay? On the job training. And we're going to talk about that almost the entire time today. And the reason it's so important is because if you're not doing this with your people, if you are not working in the trenches side by side, helping them invite, helping them expose, doing three-way calls, doing live events, doing grand openings, doing travel parties, doing business luncheons, doing live events at bars, restaurants, entertainment venues. It's all on you. It's not my job. It's not anybody else's job to come set it up for you and do it for you. Everybody should commit to doing these events in their local market. Why? Because of OJT, on the job training. Your people are going to do whatever you do. So if there is no live event for them to plug into, there is no system in place, and you will not have the duplication that you can have in this business if you are not doing a live event consistently. It's the most effective way. You get the best results, the best retention. We talked about it last week when we talked about FOMO. And so today is all about OJT. That means that you need to be setting the example. And from the moment you make the first exposure, from the moment you make the first invite, you are training and you are teaching. Okay, so that means that going back to those two questions that we've been talking about for the last 2 weeks, can I do this and will it work? Remember, the training, the duplication, what you're doing with your team, what you're doing with new people is part of filling in those questions with a yes. Can I do this and will it work? If you want people to have confidence, if you want people to have success, you need to get those questions answered with a yes. And this is the final step in that process, because if you want your people to stick long-term and you want to have good retention in your organization, you want to keep your customers around, then will it work depends on what you do with new people as soon as they sign up. This was the biggest lesson that I learned when I got into the network marketing industry about 25 years ago. When I first got in, I was coming from sales. So I was a sales guy. I was in direct sales. It was not network marketing. I did recruit at that company because I had an office and I had a territory, but it was a direct sales position. I was paid for making sales. We had to teach our salespeople how to answer objections, and it was all about making the sale. We didn't teach our people how to go and duplicate and recruit. We ran ads, we had an office, we had a call center, and so we recruited out of the office, but it wasn't about duplication. And so when I started doing network marketing, I assumed my job was to sign people up. And that couldn't have been further from the truth, because signing them up is just first base. Okay. And we're going to talk about the baseball analogy a lot. But in baseball, if you want to score runs, you've got to get them all the way around the bases and get them back to home. Okay. And signing them up is just first base. And so you don't get any points in baseball for just getting them to first base. And so what you need to remember is that first base is signing them up. Second base, okay, is doing duplication and training, going through the Bryte Lyfe blueprint, getting them on the same page, showing them how to download the app, how to log in, how to get in their back office. We're going to go through all that in just a minute. And third is them start inviting. So them start doing the 3 core competencies. So sign them up, get them trained, get them inviting, and then back to home is when they get their first sale. So you want to get them all the way around, sign up, trained, inviting, more sales, right? So this is the cycle, and this is why it's the baseball analogy, and you don't get points until you get duplication. Duplication is key. So signing them up is just the beginning. That is not your job. Your job is to get them to duplicate. So get them to first base. Congrats, you made a sale. Don't celebrate the sale. Celebrate the duplication. So you get somebody signed up, they're on first base. You train them, teach them, show them everything I'm about to show you, second base. Them inviting and exposing is third base. Home plate, where your runs are, is them making their first sale. And here's what I'm going to teach you. Until those people have at least made 2 sales, you treat that person like they are not yet fully committed to the business. Okay? Because if you want to make sure your people stick around, you want to make sure that they never quit, you want to make sure you have good retention, you've got to get duplication. Because remember those 2 questions. We talked about them in the beginning because they're part of the sign-up process. Can I do this and will it work? Will it work is finalized. Okay, that question is finalized. Keeping your team intact, keeping them engaged by having them have success. Because what better way to solidify that question of will it work rather than having them get success immediately, getting their fees waived, or getting the residual income at Lifer 200. Okay, that is the way you get duplication in this business. And so will it work is not completely answered with a yes and solidified until they have duplication, until they have their first 2 sales. If you have somebody that has 2 sales, the likelihood of them canceling is almost slim to none. So if you want to say, Wes, how can I build a really steady, stable residual income? It's all about the duplication. It's all about getting people to get 2. And then if you get a bunch of people to get 2, now you can focus on get 10 to win. If you can get them to get to 10 to win, those people are never canceling. Those people are never quitting. If they get 10, they're going to get $1,000 in free travel. They're going to be making $300 a month residual at a minimum, probably more, probably $800. Okay, that's just assuming they get 10 and nobody else does anything. They're going to be at least making $300, probably $800, maybe $1,600 if they get 10. And here's what I told you a couple weeks ago. I told people if they wanted to make 6 figures, their goal needed to be signing up 100 people. You can sign up 100 people, okay? You're going to be making 6 figures in this business, guaranteed, okay? So your goal needs to be focusing on signing up 100. In my business before at World Ventures, most of the people that signed up 100, in fact, I can't even think of anybody who didn't, became millionaires in the business. So not just making 6 figures, but these people became millionaires by signing up 100. So what's the goal? 2, then 10, then focus on 100. It's a path to 100. Getting 100 personals is your guaranteed 6 figures. Okay, so when you get 100, so think about, right? Okay, that's if I'm talking about 6 figures annually in residual off 100 people, that basically means that I'm telling you, if you sign up 100, you're gonna be making $1,000 a year annually off those 100 people. Think about that for a second. I told you if you put in 100, you're for sure at 6 figures. So if you're at 6 figures, that's 100,000 a year. I told you 100 people, that's $1,000 a person every single year in residual income that you're making by signing up 100. So don't think about your sales as just $100 in free travel. Think about them in terms of how close you are to 100 sales, because 100 sales is a guaranteed 6 figures. And if it's a guaranteed 6 figures, that means that you're going to be making $1,000 a year forever off these 100 people. That's wild. That's crazy. Okay, but these are the things to focus on, and getting duplication, starting people right, is how you answer that question of will it work? Now, they're going to answer that question with a testimonial whenever they sign up, but they're still not fully committed. Okay, just because they signed up doesn't mean that they signed up for life. So if you want them to be locked in, if you want to keep them forever, if you want to have high retention, then you need to get them to duplicate. Once you have duplication, once you have them get 2, now they say, hey, this will work. I can do this. I see it. I have confidence. I have belief. And so until they do that, I'm convinced that most people still doubt to a certain degree whether or not they're going to have success with this business. Okay? And so remember, from the very first contact, from the invite, your training, because how you do it is how they do it. They do as you do, not as you say. So that means that however you introduce them, remember, if you use those 5 most effective ways of presenting and exposing, number 1, live group events. The most effective, the best closing percentage, the best sign-up percentage, the most duplication. You're getting the blue type personalities, which were 75% of our membership base in World Ventures. So 3 million people, over 2 million of them were blue personality types. Those blue personality types do not sign up with a recorded presentation normally. They don't like being alone. So one-on-ones even are not as good for blues. You want to have them around people. You want to get them around a group. That's why it's great if you do a live group event, then you're getting all of the testimonials, all of the energy. But even if you do a recorded group event and you stream it and you do a watch party with the Zoom, it's still the energy of everybody else there. Blue type personalities have FOMO. They don't want to miss out. They don't want to be excluded. They want to be part of something. They want to be invited to everything. And so how you do it, how you expose is how they're going to expose. So if you all start doing your live group meetings this week in all of your markets, you're showing them what the system is. Then when you're bringing your prospects, that's the same way they're going to bring theirs. Because remember, they only know what they've seen. So all these people that we signed up in the Northeast this week, guess what? The only thing they know is coming to the pizza place, coming to the Sea Dog or the Cowbell or wherever we were at this week. Every night, every day was a different location, but that's all they know because that's the only way they've been exposed. The only way they've been exposed is at the Cowbell. The only way they've been exposed was at Boothbay Harbor at our luncheon. That's all they know. The only way they were exposed was at the luncheon in Bangor, Maine. And so they only know show up, eat lunch, let somebody else do the presentation. Even if you don't have a live presenter, you can stream it on the TV or on a computer or on an iPad. A lot of ways you can do it. But that's the way they see it, so that's the way they do it. And so remember, the sooner you start your live events, the sooner you start your live meetings in your markets, the sooner you're going to start growing. And here's one of this is a very deep philosophical and theoretical reminder of how the business works. Fast is fun and slow sucks. Okay? Very deep, very philosophical on that one. Fast is fun, slow sucks. So here's what that means. That means that when you're doing this business and you're putting in sales slow, it's not so much fun. But when you're doing meetings like the ones we did in Maine this week, and there were 30, 40 people there and tons of guests, okay, there was tons of guests at every meeting, all right, because you can't just come as a member. We talked about it last week. Don't go to meetings alone. Why? Why would you go to a meeting alone? Literally, the only thing my mentor taught me when I got in this business 20 years ago was, Wes, never come alone. You should never, ever, 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 ever go to meetings alone. Okay? If you're going to meetings alone, you're teaching your team because they're looking at you. They're watching you. You are supposed to be setting the example. You're still training. We're about to talk about that. So while your new people have not duplicated, you are training them with your actions. So if you don't bring guests, how could you possibly expect them to bring guests? The leaders, okay, should always have the most guests. You should have 5 guests. I mean, I told you, they laughed at me because I had a 2-seater car and I would still cram 2 or 3 or 4 people into my 2-seater and bring them to my meetings when I started 20 years ago. Because my mentor told me, and I was dumb enough to believe him, and I was dumb enough to listen, and so I was dumb enough to make millions of dollars because I never, ever, 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 ever came to meetings alone. Ever. This week, I was in Maine. I've only been here twice in my life, okay? And guess what? I signed up my first person in Maine who was my Uber driver when I landed in Portland on Wednesday. So what is your excuse? You live here. You work here. You are from here. Your family is from here. You know people all over. So why is it that Wes can fly in and he can sign up somebody in a city he doesn't live in a city where he doesn't know anybody except for members who have already signed up, and he's only been there twice? How does that work? Why? Because I'm always inviting. I'm always exposing. I'm always following the 3 core competencies, and I do exactly what I teach, and I set the example. Okay? And so your people are watching you. They're looking at you, just like your children watch you if you're a parent. Your team, your recruits, your new people are going to do exactly what you do. So if you show up alone, guess what? you're going to have a whole lot of people on your team that come hang out at the cowbell, and they sit there by themselves, and they don't bring guests, they don't sign anybody up, and then eventually they're going to be out of the business probably. And then you're going to have a whole lot of people on your team that do that exact same thing, because how can you expect somebody to do meetings and do presentations or bring guests, invite, if you're not doing it yourself? And this is why when they did this study 30 years ago and they surveyed people who smoked and that they had children, they asked them if they told their children not to smoke. Over 80% of them said don't smoke to their kids while they were smoking. And then they surveyed their kids 20 years later, and almost 100% of the kids who were told not to smoke by their parents but saw their parents smoke were smokers. Why do you think that is? Because your actions, and only your actions, tell people who you are. You can say whatever you want, but if your actions don't align, if your actions don't match up, your actions is who you are. So tell your team, invite, expose, bring a lot of people, get people on the Zoom, and then don't show up yourself. Your people aren't going to show up either. Your people aren't going to get on the Zoom. You're not going to have any prospects on the Zoom. I've been on every Zoom. I've had prospects on almost every Zoom. I've signed up more people in the company than anybody else. I'm a rep just like you guys are, and I'm doing all of these same things. So I can sit here and say it confidently that these are the things that are working, because this is exactly what's working. Where it's working is what we're talking about, okay? So remember, fast is fun, slow sucks. The faster you get through your contacts, the faster you sort. Remember, we talked about this last week. This is a sorting business. It's not a sales business. It's not a sales job. I don't even like salespeople. I have to untrain them from all their bad habits. Okay? It's not a sales job. This is about duplication. It's about systems. It's about following the program, using the program. All of the things we've talked about in weeks 1 and 2 in this series. Okay, so what do I do with the new person? I sign them up. Okay, Wes, how do I get them home? First base is signing them up. Second base is this. Second base is showing them exactly what to do. It's OJT, on the job training. You've got to be meeting with them in person. You've got to be showing them exactly what to do, exactly what to say. And so we redid the entire Bryte Lyfe blueprint and dumbed it down, made it as easy and simple to follow as possible. Okay. And so here's what you need to remember. This is the most important thing to remember from today's training, period. When you sign someone up, you should pretend that you have an hourglass that has 24 hours in it. Okay. And you turn it over as soon as you sign them up. As soon as you sign them up, you start the countdown, 24 hours. Your job is to do whatever it takes, however you can, to get them to make their first sale within 24 hours before that hourglass runs out. And so mentally, you need to have that hourglass running in your mind. You could even start, I used to start a stopwatch. When I used to sign people up, I would literally start a 24-hour clock stopwatch. And then I got good at remembering and focusing, and I didn't need to use the stopwatch because I was so good at what I'm about to teach you. This is how I got the duplication. So the 24-hour rule is start the stopwatch as soon as you sign them up, and then you have 24 hours to help them make their first sale. How do you do it? OJT. OJT. You can't just send them the link to Bryte Lyfe Blueprint and say, good luck. Hope you figure it out. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you need anything. No, you need to meet with them or keep them after the lunch, keep them after the presentation, sit down with them, go through all of this immediately. Because how are you going to get a sale for them in the first 24 hours if you don't do this with them in the first 24 hours? So if you're like, hey, all right, good. Welcome to the team. Hey, let's get together next weekend and I'll go through everything with you and show you what you've got. No, 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours. You've got to get the duplication in 24 hours. And when that 24 hours is up, it should be like a foghorn. Wah, whack, 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 like an alarm. And you should freak out. Like, I haven't gotten duplication yet. 24 hours is up. If you don't get the duplication in 24 hours and that 24-hour shot clock goes off, it's a turnover. You failed. Okay? Now, can you still get them to make a sale? Yes. Every 24 hours that goes by, you are less likely to have them have success. They're less likely to stay a member. They're less likely to be successful. The further you get away from that initial 24 hours, their likelihood of success decreases exponentially every 24 hours. So after 72 hours, after 96 hours, after 120 hours, if they haven't done anything, you haven't gotten them to another live meeting, you haven't gotten them on a Zoom, they haven't gotten any guests invited. I mean, I've seen very few people over my career within their first week, if they haven't done some kind of activity or some kind of work, these people disappear forever. So that 24-hour shot clock, but here's what I'll tell you. I can literally go back in my career and pinpoint the people who got in and had immediate success. Those people were fired up. They were excited. They were motivated. They followed the program, because if you tell them exactly what to do and you go through what we're going to go through right now and they have success, they're like, wait, holy cow, it worked. It worked. What Wes told me to do, it actually worked. I got somebody to sign up. This is crazy. This is the easiest thing I've ever done. I didn't even do anything. I just did what Wes told me. So then they do it again, and then they do it again, and then they do it again. And the next thing you know, now they've got a rank, and now they've got people on their team. Guess what? The people on the team are doing the same thing they're doing. So if you sign somebody up and you don't see them for a week, guess what they're going to do with all their new people? Sign them up and won't see them for a week. What you do is what they do. How you do it is how they do it. 24-hour shot clock, if it goes off, it's a turnover. You didn't capitalize. All right? You lost the ball. You dropped the ball. Right? It needs to happen in 24 hours. All right? Now, when you meet with them, it needs to be in person, preferably. If not, you need to get on a Zoom or something. If they don't live where you live, or for whatever reason you can't, it's still got to happen in the first 24 hours. All right? And this is what we call the game planning session. The game planning session. And here is my ultimate accountability tool. Ultimate accountability tool. If you want to know, as a leader, as a recruiter, as a builder, what the number one tool I used to hold people accountable, to encourage them, to motivate them, really simple. First thing I ask them whenever we meet and we do this game planning session, within 24 hours of them signing up, first question I ask them is, why did you join? Why did you join? Did you join to travel? Did you join to make money? Did you join to get rich? Did you join to retire? Did you join to pay for college for your kids? Did you join so you could pay for a new house? Did you join so that you could cross things off your bucket list? Did you join so you could take your wife on the honeymoon that you never took her on? Why did you join? I want to know why my people got in, because the second biggest mistake that I made, I already told you the biggest, because I just assumed everybody was going to do what I did. So I assumed when I signed somebody up, I made a sale, my job was done. The second mistake I made when I got started 20 years ago was I assumed everybody got in for the same reason I got in. So I wanted to get rich. I wanted residual income. I wanted to be wealthy. I wanted to be financially free. So I just automatically assumed that everybody that signed up, that was why they signed up. I was wrong. People sign up for different reasons. And until you know, you have no idea what their commitment should be or is, or what motivates them, or what inspires them, or why they signed up, or what the reason was, or if they have some kind of really deep reason, or maybe it's a shallow reason, who cares? It's their reason. But the thing is that when they start making excuses, or they stop following through, or they don't do what I tell them, I remind them what they told me for why they signed up. So if they say I signed up so I could pay for college for my 3 kids say, you know, nobody in my family has gone to college. You know, I've joined so I could pay for my 3 kids to go to college. Awesome. So then a week later, when they don't show up to the live event and they don't invite or they're not on the Zooms, I go, did your kids decide they're not going to college? Because you told me you did this because you wanted to pay for your 3 kids to go to college. It's been a week. You haven't done any of the things we talked about, any of the things you committed to. And so I just was checking to see if maybe the 3 kids told you this week that they just decided they weren't going to go to college. No, Wes, that's not it. My kids are only like 7, 9, and 11. They don't even know that's why I'm doing it. I go, well, why aren't you doing it? If that's the reason you're doing it, what happened this week, right? So this is my accountability factor, because you can't put your goals and aspirations and work ethic and drive and motivation and inspiration on them. It's their life. You're not their boss, but you can encourage them and you can motivate them and you can work with them more effectively if you know why it was that they got in. So let's talk about this game planning session. I try to do all my game planning sessions at coffee shops. I try to do it the next morning immediately following them signing up. Immediately. So I try to do it early in the morning. If you work or they work, do it at 7. Do it at 6:30. Doesn't matter. This is a new business. They're going to change their life. They want to help their 3 kids go to college. Okay. So meeting you for 30 or 45 minutes at a coffee shop, this is not a big deal. And plus, you're giving up your time. So it's not even an option. You need to do it the next day. You need to do it the next morning. Get them to the coffee shop. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk them through the Bryte Lyfe blueprint, literally, step by step, word for word. Try to get this zoomed a little bit. Just 1 second. There we go. All right. Can you guys see that? Sharon, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see that? Okay, perfect. All right. So the new and improved Bryte Lyfe blueprint based on the 3 core competencies and all of the things that are working, going back to the basics. Okay. So step number 1, okay, download the app. You know, it's crazy, but there's people that you've exposed. There's people that you've signed up that still don't even know where the app is. They don't know how to download it. They don't know where it is. They don't know how it works. You'd be surprised. You know, we've had very few customer service inquiries, but the inquiries have come because the people signing people up are not helping their people. Y'all aren't showing them how to use the app. You're not showing them where it is. You're not showing them how to find it. We literally got 2 emails this week from brand new people who said, where do I book travel? I'm a new member. I'm a new customer. Where do I get the app? Where do I book the travel? And then another customer support request said, I can't find how to search on the app. Whose fault is that? I mean, you can't just tell them, hey, God, go figure it out. Go download the app. Good luck. These are your new people. You're supposed to take care of them. You know, it's like you guys hatched some baby birds and they literally cracked out of the egg and y'all just kicked them out of the nest to their death. You got to help them. You got to show them. You got to teach them. You got to explain it to them. You got to walk them through the system. Here's the thing. I promise you, if people don't know how to sign people up, how to use the system, how to use the app, they will not get other people to join. It's impossible because they're not going to get their friends and family and people that they care about to do something that they don't even understand, that they don't know. They don't know how to use the app. They don't know how to book travel. You think they're going to duplicate? You think they're going to sign somebody up or bring somebody to your luncheon? They don't even know how the app works. Now, this is not everybody, but I'm telling you this week, and I'm not going to call out who it was, but literally, like I said, multiple emails this week that I saw come through. One of them was, I just joined. How do I book travel? I mean, guys, these are your customers. These are your members. This is your team. You're literally, the eggs are hatching and you're kicking them out of the nest with no feathers. They're never going to be able to fly. A bird with no feathers cannot fly. You've probably seen them splattered on the sidewalk wherever you live. I've seen them out for my morning run under some trees, and there's a splattered dead baby bird with no feathers. That bird's mom, if she kicked it out of the nest with no feathers, is exactly what you're doing. If you're signing people up, you're sending them your link and you're like, good luck, go figure it out. Okay, so download the app. This blueprint, okay, which is going to be updated because this video that we're recording right now is going to have, it's going to have a link to this training on this document. So it will be published this afternoon. Okay, and so those links right here are clickable. So you can click right here on Google Play, App Store. It'll take you right to the download page. Those buttons are also in the back office. They're on the website. So there's a lot of places where people can find the app, and the app is listed with no spaces in the word. So just a little tip, if you're typing it in, it's Bryte Lyfe with no spaces in the App Store. It's the way they put it in. Okay, so step 1, download the app and set up your account. They need to go in and set up their profile. We need to make sure all their information is correct. We've had multiple people sign up and mistype their own email. I can't log in. Well, your email is this. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's a typo. I added an extra R. Okay, so make sure that they get logged in so they can get into the back office. They can see where everything is, set up their profile, make sure their payment information is good, make sure they've got their photo, make sure they put their information on there, you know, so that that's how we can communicate with them. That's how you can communicate with them. And so make sure that they update everything in their profile. Then make sure that they're following all the groups and pages. Make sure that they're on the Facebook group. Make sure that they're following the YouTube channel. Make sure that they're following the Instagram page. Make sure you put them in the group. Make sure you have them follow the Facebook page. Make sure they understand how to make welcome banners, welcome posters. If you're not making the welcome posters for your new people, at least teach them how to make their own. Canva's free, okay? We've got the links here. Everything in blue you can click on. So literally, you click it here, it opens. 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 Okay? And then we tell them where to put the welcome posters. A lot of you guys are not doing welcome posters for your new people. This is simple. You should be doing it for them. You should be welcoming them on their social media, your social media, tagging Bryte Lyfe, welcome them in the group, welcome them on the page. We want these welcome posters all over the internet. We were better at this during pre-launch. We've got to get better at this. Everybody should have a welcome poster the moment they join. You should literally go and do it right then and there. Their friends and family are going to be asking, what is this? What is this? It's an easy way to get a little bit of buzz, get people asking what it is. What is this? I saw you posted this. Make it your profile picture. Teach them how to make it their profile picture. You can make a temporary profile picture on Facebook. Make it the profile picture. Put it in their story. Put it on their post. Put it in their feed. Put it in our group. Put it on our page. Put it on our Instagram page. Then we've got the ad tag message group. That's the Facebook group that's for ad tag message. Okay, this is a different group. This is a consumer-facing, non-member Facebook group. So this is where you send people for testimonials. Remember, can I do this? Will it work? So if you've got somebody on the fence, you've already showed it to them, you can add them to the ad tag message. And here's what we need you guys to do. If you have booked travel, if you have saved money, if you've had a good experience with Bryte Lyfe, go post your testimonial. Post your testimonial and post a screenshot of the savings. Post a testimonial of your family on vacation. Post a testimonial with you holding the sign. We need content on this page. Because here's what happens. If you want people to sign up and answer the question, can I do this and will it work? What better way to get somebody off the fence than once they see the video or see the presentation, if you don't have somebody to put them on a three-way with, or maybe you put them on one three-way and they're still not sold, they're still not convinced, then you add them to this group, tag them in the first post, and then you can follow up and message them. Did you see all the photos? Did you see all the testimonials? Did you see all the people with their signs? But here's the thing. If you guys don't post testimonials, if you don't post photos with the sign, if you don't take photos at your meetings and at your travel parties and at your grand openings, like you guys did this week that got into the contest, all the people that were in the contest this week, you guys did it, okay? But go post those on the ad tag message group too and make them customer facing. So don't sell, but just talk about how happy you are, how great it is, how much money you've saved. You know, talk about residual. Don't talk about, you know, specific amounts, but you can talk about, hey, I'm already earning residual income. I've only been in a month. I've only been in 2 weeks, already earning residual income. You can post your rank, which will tell them how much you're making, but if they're not in yet, they may not understand. But you can't post how much you're making. You can post your rank, okay? And the rank has the money in it. So you just need to teach your people what they're looking at if they're prospects. So let's get good at using the ad tag message group. But the ad tag message group is like the ultimate verification tool. It's the ultimate validation tool. You can call this social proof. Are you using social proof? Social proof is all about testimonials, showing people that it works and that they can do it and that other people like them are doing it too. So using that Bryte Lyfe ad tag message group, it's called Bucket List Life. And that blue link right there will open it up right to that group. This is a consumer-facing group. So this is not where we do the welcome posters. This is not the regular Bryte Lyfe group. This is the ad tag message group. Add your prospects once they've seen the video. Don't put them in there until you've exposed them, okay? Expose them first and use this to validate and verify and show them social proof. Add, tag them. After you add them, tag them in the post, and then message them and ask them if they saw all of the stuff being added. So you think about it. What a way to haunt your prospects that have not joined yet. They're still on the fence. It's not a follow-up business. Somebody asked me, Wes, how do you keep up with your follow-ups? I don't. You can add them to this group, tag them in the post, and that's your follow-up. Letting them see all of the savings, all of the testimonials, all of the stories, okay? There is no follow-up in this business. They're either in or they're out. If they're not in, I add them to this group, and we try to get this third-party validation, all of this social proof to tip them over the edge. So we've got to get better at adding content to this ad tag message group, putting our testimonials in there. All of you that participated in the contest this week, put pictures of you and your team, you doing events. I love Bryte Lyfe. So great, so awesome. Anything you can do that's team related, company related, savings related, success related, because we're trying to get people on the fence, off the fence, and believing they can do this and it will work for them. Join the Telegram chat, okay? All of these groups and pages, okay, are very critical right now. Once we have a lot of our contact management system live, which we're already in phase 1, the notifications are already out. We're going to start sending notifications when we have trainings, when we have events, when we're doing Zooms, okay? But in the meantime, We need to be communicating with each other. You need to make your own team group, and you need to take the messages from the Facebook group, from the Telegram chat, and share it with your team. Anytime I send you something, a lot of you have been signed up by me. So I have like 20 different groups of 15 names. When I send you something, the point is for you to take that message and send it to everybody in your team. So you can make your own groups. Okay. And on the iPhone, you can put about 15 people into one text group. So I have a bunch of them. Okay. And I copy and paste it and put it in all of them. Now you show them when the next meeting is. This is the most important thing. Okay. Write this down. When you get to this point, this is all of the Zooms. So we can't put the live meetings on the Bryte Lyfe blueprint, but remember, you want to teach them what the 5 most effective things are. So you want to teach them the 3 core competencies, and you'll see that in just a second. They're right here after the Zooms. And all of these videos that I did are right here that are clickable. Okay. And then once all of our video technology is live in the app, we're going to move all of our videos and all of our training into the app so that you can invite people, and we'll track it through the app, not through YouTube. But for now, part 1 and part 2 are already in this document. As soon as I'm done with this training today, it's going to be number 3, training in duplication. And so you'll have these 3 videos right there on this document. You can't watch all 3 of them. It's 3.5, 4 hours, okay, when you're sitting there in the game planning session. But you should tell them that after they make their invites, they should go watch these 3 videos as fast as possible, starting with number 1. So right here, you're just walking them through when the next live meeting is. If there's not a live meeting in the next 24 hours, you should do one for them. Do it at their house, have them invite straight to their home, go over there and do a recorded group presentation, travel party or grand opening. If you want to know how to do that, go back and watch last week's training. But if there's not a live meeting, you can't do it. And there's hopefully a Zoom that night. If there's not some kind of live event going on in your market, it's a Wednesday, maybe there's nothing going on Wednesday night. So show them Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Central, ZoomVIProom.com. That's why this is right here in this document. But remember to explain to them that that's the 4th most effective way to expose. But you don't sandbag and wait. If you're not going to do a live event for them, then they should get somebody on the Zoom same day. So that's next. Then you tell them about this training that you're in right now, every Saturday, 10 a.m. Central. You can click on these little clocks, and the little clocks will actually open a link and tell you what time that is in your time zone. Okay? And same thing here. Same thing here. Corporate update call, Sunday, 7 p.m. This is the most important call the entire week and is not recorded. So make sure you put this date and time in your calendar to hear live from Wes Melcher, the entire corporate team, all the exciting things happening with Bryte Lyfe. You're telling them what the commitments are, what the schedule is, when the next live event is, when your weekly meetings are in your market, when is the weekly luncheon, when is the weekly live meeting, and then when are all the live Zooms. And then you can get to recorded presentations, which are the least effective, and that's definitely not what you should use for their first 24 hours. If you want them to succeed, if you want that shot clock in 24 hours not to expire, you've got to make sure you get them in front and their guests in front of a live Zoom or a live presentation, or do 2-on-1s or 1-on-1s. Invite them right then and there. Invite them to the coffee shop right now. I used to ask my people, hey, who do you know that lives close to here? I don't know, so-and-so. Okay, perfect. Text them right now. So have them come meet us at Starbucks. Just have them come here right now. Right now? Yeah, have them come here right now. Literally, have them invite them right then and there. You can show the video as soon as they get there. You can get their first sale right then and there. Don't wait. 24 hours is ticking. Okay? Then tell them once they're done with their inviting, this is downtime activity. Go watch these 3 trainings on the 3 core competencies. Step 3, score in 24. Okay? score in 24. Your goal is to get 2 members to join your team in 24 hours. All right. How do you do it? These are the critical steps. And I do this with them right while I'm sitting with them in the game planning session. Make a list of your top 10 A-team prospects. Okay. We talked about this with inviting in week 1. Who to invite? Why start with the top? Why to go to the most successful? I'm not going into all of that tonight. It's all part of inviting. Go back and watch that. Okay. Step 2, invite them to a live presentation today. So if there's not a live presentation or a live Zoom, you've got to make one or get them to come to Starbucks right then and there. If you're literally sitting with them at Starbucks on a Wednesday morning at 10 a.m., have them send 10 text messages that say, "What are you doing right now?" If they respond with nothing, say, "Come to Starbucks right now. It's really important." Boom. Easy. You could get their first 2 right then and there, right at Starbucks. They come in, you introduce them, they edify you, you show them the video, sign them up, boom. They're right in the Bryte Lyfe blueprint too. Now you can do a game planning session with 2 people at the same time. And now that person's already got 1 of their 2 in the first 24 hours. This is how you move fast. This is fun. Slow sucks. Okay? So what are you doing at 8 p.m.? Or are you doing something right now? Are you free right now? Immediately, you show them what to text. You show them what to say. If they're busy, we'll get you another time. And then they're going to be curious. Don't answer any questions. This all goes back to inviting. Not going to teach you inviting, but these are the key things, and that's why it's in this document. Okay? Remember, the goal is to get your first 2 members to join in your first 24 hours. So if there's no live meeting or Zoom, you can use a recorded presentation if you have no other option. Here are the 2 links for the live Zoom and the recorded Zoom. We got it right there one more time. Okay? And the What is Bryte Lyfe is the 6-minute presentation. That's a teaser. I would prefer, if they will, to watch the 24-minute one. And I'm going to record a new one this week. So I'm going to try to get it under 20 minutes with all the new comp plan slides and all the new stuff we've been doing. Step 3, after they finish the Zoom or the meeting, put them on the phone with somebody. This is the third-party validation. This is the 3-way call. This is, will it work? Okay? Is it working? They have to be on the phone with somebody or see somebody or take them to the ad tag message group right then and there while you're sitting with them. Or if they're on the phone, tell them how to get there. Send them a link to the ad tag message group, add them, tag them, message them, and make sure they can see it all. That's where they get the social proof. Okay, not going to go into 3-ways right now. We've already trained in the first 2 meetings on 3-ways. Then send them the referral link. Stay on the phone with them until they pull the link up and make sure they find it. Make sure they understand which memberships they're paying for. Help them through this process. Don't just send them the link and say, "Good luck. See you soon." Stay on the phone with them when you send them the link and make sure they open it and say, "What are you looking at? What do you see?" You should see a page where you put in your information. Put your information in. Then you should see a products page. Choose the right products. Member $179, influencer $19.99. Influencer makes money, member saves money and travels and gets the loyalty and gets all the membership benefits. Okay? Make sure they understand. They're confused. If they're confused, they're not going to sign up. And they may not even call you or bother you. So I've literally had people that if their friends have told them they're signing up and they send them the link and never hear from them again. You know what probably happened? They got confused, didn't know what to click on, didn't know how to sign up, went to the wrong place, and then they lost them forever. Did all the work to get them there and then didn't even help them actually sign up. Step 5, make their Bryte Lyfe welcome poster. Either you make it or they make it, and then send them this document, the document you're looking at right now. So this should happen with every single person. Every person you sign up, get them signed up, send them this document, immediately start. Now the shot clock starts. 24 hours, countdown is on. And then all you have to do is keep repeating this. Now on here, I have a couple of tips for social media, but remember, this is not how you build. This is not how you recruit. This is extra. This is just something you can do to get a little extra activity going, and also post something on Travel Tuesdays. So Travel Tuesdays, we're asking everybody to post something travel or lifestyle or entertainment related, not salesy, no links, no videos, no presentations, nothing selling. Just post something travel related. It can be facts, figures, travel photo, and post it for Travel Tuesday. We're asking everybody to do that. Start using those Instagram filters too. I haven't seen very many people at all even use the Instagram filters. They're awesome. They're on the 3 little stars on the Instagram page. Okay. Live events, live events, live events, live events. If you want this to work, live events have got to be part of your program. You got to be doing it in your local market. If you have any questions on live events, or you believe that you can't do it for whatever reason it may be, please reach out to me later today. I will help you. I will guide you, but you've got to do this if you want to be successful, and it needs to be every week. It needs to be the same time, same place, every week. Start it. You do it rain, snow, sleet, or shine. You don't have to present. You can show a presentation from your phone, from your iPad, from your computer, and it is very simple to do, and that is what's working, okay? So when you sign somebody up, you should launch their business with a live event within 24 hours of them joining. And if not, have them come immediately to the Starbucks and do a live one-on-one or two-on-one, which is the 3rd most effective exposure. And remember, do not leave your people unattended until they have at least 2 personals. Treat them like they don't have feathers. Treat them like they're still in the nest. When you take them to events, they go to events, introduce them to everybody. Build rapport with them. Continue working with them. You have not gotten them home until they get their first 2. First base, you sign them up. Second base, you train them. Third base, they expose and invite and follow the program. Home base, they get their first person. Okay? And just go through that again and again and again and again. It's important to show them how to sign their people up, how to use the holding tank. I'm convinced if people don't know how to sign people up or what happens once they do, they just don't ever do it. Think about that. You're literally going to have people that will never invite because they don't even know what to do with the person once they sign them up. In their head, they're like, I don't even know where to go, how they sign up. I don't know what bottom left is. I don't know what bottom right is. They haven't seen the comp plan video. They don't even know what to do. They don't even know where they go. They don't know how to use the holding tank. How would they? You got to teach them this stuff. You got to hold their hand. You got to walk them through it and stay with them until they have their first 2. Okay? Today's training is going to be the most important for your business. Okay? I told you in week 1, you could be great at inviting and you could build a team. You could suck at 2 and 3, okay, and still build a team. But you're not going to be a top leader. You're not going to get where you want to go if you're not managing all 3 of the core competencies. Number 1, invite, okay? Be a good inviter. Use last-minute invites. Always invite. Use your time wisely. Get people on Zooms. Be on the Zooms every night. It's 15 minutes, man. It's 5 nights a week. 5 nights a week, 15 minutes, 75 minutes. I'm still blown away by how many of you think this is going to change your life and you can't even be on a Zoom for 15 minutes, 5 nights a week. I mean, you're living in a fantasy world. It's not going to happen to you. This is not get rich quick. This is not walk out to your car one day and there's this big fat, check in your mailbox, from Bryte Lyfe. This doesn't work that way. You've got to put the work in. You've got to do the meetings. You've got to do the calls. You got to have live events. And you should be doing live events in all your markets. If you have 2 people in a market, do a live event. If you have 1 person in another market, do a live event. You should be doing live events in all your markets. Every week, same time, same place. Tuesdays and Thursdays are the best nights for live events. In my book, I talk about this for 30 pages, 40 pages, okay? I could do an entire training on just how to run a live event, okay? And so it's in the book. If you need it, message me. I'll get you a copy. Okay. But here's the thing. You've seen it. You know, it's not hard. You literally just invite them there. I taught you last week. And then you just do a presentation from your phone or from your computer. And if you don't know how to do that, ask me. I will help you. Okay. But this is what it takes. These are the 3 core competencies. You've got to get your people engaged. You've got to help them. Don't kick them out of the nest with no feathers. Don't hang them out to dry. Don't leave them abandoned. Don't send them a link and then just tell them to show up on the next Zoom. They don't even know what it is, where it is. Remember, the Bryte Lyfe Blueprint will be online this afternoon, brytelifeblueprint.com. All the new stuff that you just saw, including when this is recorded and published, this training will be on those 3 core competencies. So they'll all be there. So everything is in one place. You have no excuses. If you follow the Bryte Lyfe Blueprint, if you walk your new people through it in person within 24 hours and help them get there too, you will be a 6-figure earner. Put in 100 people, guaranteed 6-figure earner. $100,000 a year in residual income. And I told you, if you put 100 in, you'll be there guaranteed. That's $1,000 a person you sign up for the rest of your life every year. That's wild. $1,000 a person every year for the rest of your life. 6-figure earner with 100 people. Nobody ever has worked with me that's put in more than 100 people and not made 6 figures or 7 figures. I told you a couple weeks ago, the majority of the people that put in 100 people, 7-figure earners in a year. Not 7 total in a lifetime. Making $1 million in a year. The people that did that in my last organization with the inferior comp plan, inferior product, were making $1 million a year. Go put in 100 people. What are you waiting for? Fast is fun. Slow sucks. I know that's, it's so profound, but it's the truth. And so it's up to you now. What are you going to do today? What can you do today to build your business today? What can you do? How many people can you get on your team to watch these 3 videos over the last 3 weeks? How many people can you get to go through the Bryte Lyfe Blueprint? Let's go back and pretend you just signed all your people up today. If you haven't done it right and you haven't gotten them started right, it's never too late to start. You could do it today. You could do it this weekend. Try to meet with everybody on your team that signed up and do it right. Do it this way. This is the way that works. They're going to do what you do, not as you say. So it's got to start sometime. If you want to get to the top, this is what it takes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. This will be published and live in the next hour, along with the Bryte Lyfe Blueprint. Will be up in a couple of hours. You'll be able to download it. You'll be able to get it. You'll be able to use it for your teams. Everybody promote for tomorrow night's Zoom. It's going to be the biggest one we've ever done, most likely. I would love to see all of you on there. If everybody on here just gets 2 or 3 people, we'll have 150, 200 people on the Zoom tomorrow night. Can we do it? Can you do it? It's 15 minutes. Give up 15 minutes, okay? I promise you can change lives. You can change a lot of people around you as well, all right? See you guys tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Central Time, the corporate update call. Major announcements tomorrow night. Major. Do not miss it. And then again, of course, 8 o'clock is Zoom VIP room. Thank you all so much for being here today. Have a great weekend. God bless.